Hi, my name is Adam Auerbach, and I'm here to talk to you about leading a testing revolution. I'm the co-head of what we call our Cloud and Dev Test SecOps practice at EPAM Systems. We're a global system integrator doing consulting across all engineering disciplines. Please connect with me on Twitter at Bugman31, or you can follow me at LinkedIn. Part of this perspective comes from where are you starting? Are you moving from waterfall to agile, or are you going from you have agile teams, but you want to get faster, so you're embracing DevOps, or maybe you have DevOps in place with your agile teams, but you're trying to get to continuous delivery. So it's important to understand where you are in the journey. Different places in the journey require different needs. So if you're waterfall, you're most likely going to focus on enabling automation and helping your teams embrace that automation, maybe changing the resource mix. If you're already in agile teams and now you're starting to embrace DevOps, so now it's about getting your testers to be more like engineers, enabling quality gates, maybe changing the approach to automation. And then ultimately, when you're trying to get to continuous delivery, it's about how do I get intelligence into this process to just test enough so that we can release code every day, multiple times a day. So depending on where you are in your maturity, you're going to have different needs, different areas of transformation to focus on. There are a couple different challenges that you're going to face regardless of where you're at maturity-wise, starting with funding. All of this takes money. If you're trying to get more technical testers, they're going to be more expensive than manual testers. Perhaps you need different tools that cost money. Maybe you need an investment for POCs. It's going to cost money. Maybe if you're moving from waterfall to agile, you might have a project mindset, and so you're going to get people to have to embrace innovation. You might have dependencies on vendors or COTS products, and so that could be an issue. Maybe you have to change your destination state or strategy based off of those dependencies, or maybe they can help. You can help push your journey along by changing the engagement model that you have. You might have a legacy set of tools that are going to have to change based off new ways of working, and ultimately your leadership in your team might have to change because of are they subject matter experts or are they technologists? And as we move closer to that continuous delivery paradigm, we need to have technologists who understand, who have this experience versus people who are subject matter experts. So these are just some of the high level challenges you might face. Let's talk about, okay, what are some of the underlying principles when we're trying to drive a revolution within our testing practice? The first one is about understanding the history. You can't just walk into an organization, a team, and say, hey, I know the way that we need to be working, so stop what you're doing, let's change right now. That doesn't work. You can't just say to the team, hey, the way that you have been working is crap, and so stop, we need to do it differently. You need to first take a step back. You need to look at how they work. You need to look at the journey that they have been on, what has failed before, what has been successful, in order to understand how does change happen within the organization and have a respect for what people have been through. That's going to show that you're empathetic to the company, you have an appreciation for the people that have been there, and it'll help you understand how to be successful going forward. I use this phrase wherever I go, eating your own dog food. So basically, wherever you have the opportunity to do what you're preaching, you need to do that. So if your company is transforming to agile, then you need to be working in an agile fashion. You should have stand-ups. You need to have teams who are driving innovation. Maybe you're using Jira to track your work, but you need to embrace agile as part of the way you're working, as a way to show people this is how we can be productive in this contract. If you're embracing DevOps, then okay, how do we ensure that we don't have teams doing work for other people, and how do we break down some of those impediments so we can focus on flow? Whenever you talk about driving change, you always hear this term about getting buy-in, and buy-in is important, but the best way to get buy-in is through collaboration. So we need to create mechanisms for people to participate as part of the change that's happening so that they can make decisions as part of the group. And that way, they're going to have more accountability to the work that's being done, to the way that we're moving towards, versus if you decide, or a small group decides, hey, this is the way we're going to work, and then you have to go get buy-in from other people. That's much more difficult. That takes a lot more energy, and it has different types of success. Whereas if people are part of the decision-making process from the start, they're going to accept the changes much more rapidly, and they're going to do more to get it to succeed. So it's important that you want to have collaboration versus trying to get buy-in as you're trying to drive change. You need to take into account how it's going to impact people, and you need to be able to articulate how it's going to change their profession, how their careers are going to grow by working differently. Um, People are afraid of change. They like doing what they've been doing for many years, and so you have to be able to help them understand where they're going. Also, you might have to look at how people are rewarded. Are you rewarded for project heroics, or you're rewarded for innovation? It's important that we're, helping people drive change, and we're rewarding those that embrace the change and help others change. Uh, you have to show people how new ways of working uh, look like within their guardrails, right? Within their line of business, within their team. And so this is where pilots come into play. You need to be able to do things small to show them this is how it looks, this is how it's going to work with your system, with your area. People will respect and understand that much better than if you just say, hey, you need to do test automation because this is the book that I read or the article that I read and the approach that we're talking about. In order to get started, I love value stream analysis. It's a great way to help people understand, uh, you know, where the opportunities are within their space. So value stream analysis, basically get in front of a whiteboard, or you do it virtually, and just you go through all of the steps needed to test an application. What's manual, what's automated, how long do these steps take, where are the rework? And by doing this, you're going to create a business case that says, hey, we have an opportunity to increase the productivity of the team, or we can cut the time to market down if we did automation, if we had integration with CI/CD, maybe we changed our approach. And so people will get bought into making change because they see the impact it's going to have, the real impact it's going to have for their team. You are going to have to get support for people, and you can do that very organically by showing them the progress that you're making through demos. You can get people educated by doing lunch and learns. Internal conferences are a great way to get people out of their silos to showcase the work that they've been doing. And you'll need to have office hours where the experts within the organization are help providing support for others. I said this before, but you definitely need the pilot. People want to see it within their terms. If you have multiple lines of business, then every line of business is going to need a pilot so they can see how the new way of testing is going to impact them. They can get support behind it, and then they can drive rolling it out across their organization. And so in summary, in order to drive a revolution within your testing practice, you need to first have an understanding of all the changes that have happened before, what has worked, what has struggled in order to drive your strategy. You need to create ways for people to collaborate in enabling that new way of working. You need to provide incentives, whether it's from their professional career or monetarily. You need to do lots of experiments so you can show people how the benefits of the new way of working is going to impact them. And you need to be able to embrace these changes yourself by eating your own dog food, drinking your own champagne, so that way people can live it, they can feel it, and understand why it's going to have such a great impact on them. Thank you.